Hello, everyone. I'll now talk about my journey as working as a dietitian internationally in Australia and beyond. So, a snapshot about my journey is that I did my nutrition and dietetics from Griffith University, just like how you are doing at the moment. I completed my degree course in nutrition and dietetics from Griffith at in the year 2008 2010, after which I had gone for my PhD at Queensland University of Technology. From Griffith University, completing my nutrition and dietetics gave me the APD title, which allows you to practice as a registered dietitian in Australia. And this was fantastic because while I was doing my PhD at Queensland University of Technology, at the same time, I was also working as a clinical dietitian at the Royal Brisbane's Women Hospital, part-time in nature. So this opened doors for me to pursue a higher research degree and to work as a clinical dietitian. So yes, all of this was possible when I started when I finished my dietetic journey at Griffith. And where was I before that? So originally I come from India, and in India I had done my master's in food science, and before that I had done my bachelor's in food and nutrition. So during my time, there was no dietetic degree available in Mumbai, where I was studying, which is where I decided to come to Australia. And having the APD status from Griffith opened big doors for me, which helped me to pursue my doctorate and my first job opportunity as a clinical dietitian. So yes, then what happened from there? This opened the world for me. So having a APD status and having a PhD degree, both of this combined led to many opportunities. So I'll go in a chronological order as to where and how I worked throughout my journey. So yes, this shows that I did my dietetic degree at Griffith. Then I had done my PhD, after which for my first postdoctoral opportunity. So what is a postdoctoral opportunity? That is the research that you pursue after completing your PhD degree. So I practiced as a private practicing dietitian in India, and I was also working as a postdoctoral research dietitian in Mumbai. And what is a research dietitian? A research dietitian, there is a big demand for research dietitian. Why? Because here you're combining two skill sets. One is you are a practicing dietitian, so you know your clinical content well, and then you know how to translate that into research, which is your research skill set. So my research skill set came from my PhD degree. My clinical skill set came from my APD status, and Griffith University prepared me for the APD status. So this is my X factor, which is I have my clinical skill set and I have my research skill set, and together that opened several international job opportunities for me. The first one being was working as a postdoctoral research dietitian in Mumbai, and also taking my private practice at the side. So after my work in Mumbai, and my work in Mumbai was predominantly in the area of undernutrition, which is looking at mothers and children nutritional status in the tribal, women and children living in the national forest parks of, say, Mumbai. So that was one of the big projects that we were working on. And that project was actually an international project because it was funded by Cornell University in New York State. And those researchers were carrying out this project on maternal and child undernutritional status in India, which I was a part of. So as you see, even though I was working in India, I was collaborating with nutritionists and dietitian scientists working in Cornell University in New York State, and they had come to India and we were all working together. So that was my first big opportunity after my dietetic and research degree. After working in India for approximately 18 months, I got a second opportunity, which was I received a fellowship to work as a postdoctoral dietitian. So again, a research dietitian role in Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, so this was again requiring two skill sets, my clinical skill sets as a APD dietitian and my research skill set from my PhD degree. So yes, as a research dietitian, what was I doing? I was looking at the body composition of individuals who are having phenylketonuria. So what is phenylketonuria? It is a genetic metabolic disorder. So my studies or my research was in the area of genetic metabolic nutrition. And the key condition that I was investigating is phenylketonuria and its effect on body composition, which is fat mass, lean muscle mass, so on and so forth. All right. So yes, I had a few publications from my work in India. Then when I got the fellowship opportunity in the United States, I had a publication from there as well. So while I was doing my work in the United States, during that time, I got the opportunity to get my residency approved in Australia. And no matter where I was, I did feel Australia as my second home, originally coming from India. And I knew that I had a lot more to learn and to progress as an academic. So I decided to return back to Australia. When I returned back to Australia, I again worked as a postdoctoral research dietitian. So this has been the big advantage for me. Again, emphasizing is that having my dietetic degree and having a solid research base, which is my PhD degree, this were my plus points in my career, which really helped me keep a competitive edge while giving job interviews, so on and so forth, because I could not only offer clinical skills, I could also combine them with research skills. So basically, you are getting two people's job in one person. And that is the sort of skill set where people were looking for when I was applying to these positions. So when I came back to Australia, what did I do? So in Australia, I was working again as a postdoctoral research dietitian at Western Sydney University, Campbelltown campus, which is in Campbelltown, which is a place close to Sydney. All right, so yep, I was working in the area of type 2 diabetes management and prevention. So I was working with individuals who already have type 2 diabetes, and I was designing group education sessions and things which require dietetic skills. And I was also working with individuals who are at risk of diabetes, and then designing other sort of preventative programs for them. So here, my skills as a public health, dietitian, a community dietitian came a lot more handy during my postdoctoral work in Sydney. During my postdoctoral research dietitian work in US, my clinical skills were very handy because I was working with quite a clinical concept, which is phenylketonuria. All right, in Mumbai, both my clinical and my community dietitian skills, so both of them were in practice over here. So when I was working in Sydney, I was working on certain projects where I was collaborating with, say, researchers from Auckland University, and we have published papers together where we were working, where we were looking at, say, the food availability and the food consumption data among the Maori indigenous population. So that was a very interesting piece of research that I was collaborating with researchers in Auckland, New Zealand. After my opportunity in Sydney, I then got to come a little bit towards north, which is in, no, that's towards south, sorry. I went to Canberra, and in Canberra, I was working as a lecturer now. So over here, I was, and during all of this time, private practice was always going on in the side. So in Canberra, in University of Canberra, I was a academic where I was doing my teaching, and then I was doing my research as well. So what sort of research I was doing at University of Canberra when I became a full-time academic with teaching and research load? Well, I started doing my own study on in the area of picky eating. So my PhD, so when you see over here, my PhD was examining feeding practices of Indian mothers who are living in Australia and India. And these are mothers with young children 1 to 5 years of age. And we predominantly looked at picky, fussy eating. So that was my area of research. Then what I did was, when I became a full-time, say, academic with teaching and say research load, I then created my own multi-centric picky eating project called as the PEP project, PEP, Picky Eating Project. And this picky eating project is currently ongoing in India, it is ongoing in Malaysia, and it is ongoing in Australia. So in Australia, what is this picky eating project, and like how is this multi-centric collaboration? I'll talk a little bit more about it in the coming slide. But basically, what I want to show is that, again, my PhD, my research, and my dietetic skills gave me the opportunity to work with colleagues in Malaysia and continue working with colleagues in India as well. Where does this Tonga research come into the picture? Well, while I was at University of Canberra, I was also working with colleagues in Tonga in the area of type 2 diabetes and its management, gestational diabetes and its management among the Tongan population. So that research was also going on the sidelines. All right. And after University of Canberra, again, I came back to Griffith University. So it's like I completed the circle of life. I had started my Australian journey from Griffith University as a student dietitian. And I gradually then had my APD status. Now I have my, say, senior APD status, all right, which is called as an advanced accredited practicing dietitian. And now I have come back to Griffith University, but now I'm a senior lecturer. So now tables have turned. So I was a student previously, and now I have the opportunity to teach students at Griffith. All right. So this is what I want to say, that Dietitians Without Border is that when you have your clinical skill set and when you have your X factor, my X factor with my clinical skill set was my PhD research skill set. And having this gave me a lot of opportunities across the globe to practice, to learn, to grow, and to further myself. Okay. So this is just a little bit about the International Multicentric Picky Eating Project that I'm working on. In the Picky Eating Project, I am collaborating. The project is ongoing in India, Australia, and in Malaysia. In India, I am collaborating with Professor Mandalika. I am co-supervising a PhD student, Farheen, and we are looking at picky eating behavior of children 7 to 12 years of age. So I have already studied preschool age children in my PhD 1 to 5 years of age. And now I'm interested to study children 7 to 12 years of age within this space. In Australia, I'm collaborating with various universities to further the Australian arm of the Picky Eating Project, where I'm not only looking at, say, children, I'm also looking at adults, and I'm doing something with miracle berries. So what is this miracle berry? That is something you can, try to investigate as to what sort of research I might be doing on miracle berries. So what are these miracle berries? And again, in Malaysia, we are doing the Picky Eating Project in Malaysia, which is called as MyPep. In India, it is called as IndiePep. So in Malaysia, I am collaborating with Dr. Yang, and we are doing the Picky Eating Project on Malay children, Chinese children, and Indian immigrant children who are living in Malaysia. All right. So at the end, as you can see, that even though I'm currently in Australia, I am doing a lot of international research in other countries. And all of this is possible because I started my basic foundation as a dietitian, getting my APD degree, and my X factor along with my APD degree was my research. So that dietetic, say, skills plus research skills did good for me. And that is how I am working and progressing on this side of my career. And then basically, This is just to show you the number of publications, various publications that we have, which are coming from Australia, which are coming from Malaysia as part of the Picky Eating project. This is like an evidence of, the collaboration that we are doing internationally. And over here, at the end, I just want to show you the different websites from which you can get further information on if you want to work in other countries like UK and Canada, what are the requirements and how do you go working through that. So this websites can give you a little bit more information on this. So yes, this is my brief presentation on my international journey as a dietitian in Australia and beyond. And I hope it gives you a bit of insight and a little bit of inspiration, and a food for thought to think about how would you like to see yourself in the next 5 years. So yes, you are in an exciting degree and in an exciting course. So I hope you can make the most of it. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll sign off now.